Welcome back to The Awakening. I'm Father Justin Waltz, and this is video number 2 in our several-part series where we're explaining our mission here at The Awakening. So puzzle piece number 1 of the private revelation that we're going to be talking about begins with what has already happened and starts in 1884 on October 13th with Pope Leo XIII. Not to be confused with our present Holy Father, Pope Leo XIV. In 1884, on October the 13th, Pope Leo XIII had a vision. Now, this vision is somewhat known, and I'm going to explain it here in a second. But what isn't as well known is where they think he was at. And they think he was at the Petrine Chapel in St. Peter's Basilica. Now, the Petrine Chapel in St. Peter's Basilica is underneath the main high altar of St. Peter's Basilica. In 1884, the unique part about it is that the Vatican had not excavated down to St. Peter's actual tomb. It was during World War II that the excavations began. And what was found was if you dropped a sink line from the very center of the dome of St. Peter's, it would land perfectly on the main altar, and then it would drop down to where St. Peter's actual grave was discovered. And even now, if you're over in Rome at St. Peter's, you can get tickets to do what's called the Scavi tour, where you get to see the actual grave and the bones of St. Peter that are now housed in vacuum-sealed boxes given to the Vatican by NASA, so that those bones are preserved. But in 1884, Pope Leo XIII only had the faith that St. Peter was buried down there and the tradition that he was. So it makes sense that the vision would happen in the Petrine Chapel. So he's celebrating Mass with his secretary and others. And all of a sudden, after the consecration, he turns ghostly white. They think he dies. He comes to, he finishes Mass, and he goes directly to his papal residence, and he writes the Leonine exorcism. Now, more about that in a second because it's very, very important. But what vision did he have? He recounted that he was sucked up immediately above St. Peter's and above all of Rome. And he saw Satan and the legions of hell present themselves before the eternal throne of Christ. And then the conversation began. Satan said to the Lord, "I can destroy your church." And the Lord responded, "You can you?" And he said, "I can, but I need time and power." And the Lord said, "How much time and how much power?" Satan responded, 100 years. And the power over anyone who will give themselves over to me. Now that's very interesting, because the conversation he recounted ended with this. The Lord responded, "You have the time and you have the power." Boom, he's back in his body. And again, he heads to his papal residence, his private study. And he composes the Leonine exorcism. Now, most people don't know what that is. Exorcists do. But many people know the way that it ends, which is the St. Michael the Archangel prayer. If you've never heard it, it goes like this. St. Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And to thou, O Prince of the heavenly hosts, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who prowl about the world seeking the ruin of souls. He commanded that that prayer be prayed after every Mass, and many people still do. So the question then becomes this: when did the 100 years begin? And that, my dear friends, is the subject of video number 3. Subscribe and follow us. You don't want to miss any of it as we build the mission of the awakening, why we're doing what we're doing, and why you want to be a part of it. God bless you all. I'm Father Justin Waltz, and this is The Awakening.